Hello and welcome everyone. It is 11:30 Central Time, so we will get started. Thank you for tuning in to today's webinar, Featured Product Demonstration Dental Palpation Simulator from Realityworks. My name is Kelsey and I will be your moderator today. First, here is your 30-second introduction to Realityworks for those of you who aren't familiar with us. We are an employee-owned company based in Eau Claire, Wisconsin that creates experiential learning tools for teaching job and life skills. We got our start over 20 years ago when former NASA engineer Rick Germain created the first RealCare baby infant simulator, then went on to found the company that is now Realityworks. Today, our training tools combine curriculum with hands-on learning tools, student activities, and assessments. Baby is still around, but you can look for us for tools for our bovine birthing and ultrasound simulator, virtual reality welding simulator, wearable geriatric sensitivity suits, and if you have some time, we encourage you to check out our website and see it all. Presenting today, we have Molly Kellgren. Molly is the Health Science Product Manager here at Realityworks and has been with us for over a year and a half. She is PhD prepared registered nurse with specialized skills in education and the use of simulation as a teaching and learning strategy. She has an in-depth background of health science and simulation, and she is a great resource for today's presentation. Before we get started, I want to cover a couple things. First, today's presentation is being recorded and all attendees will receive a link containing the recording as well as a copy of the PowerPoint slides and free resources. For those of you attending live today, you will also receive a certificate of completion for attending today's presentation. Keep an eye on your email. You will receive that email within 24 hours after the presentation, and we will have time at the end for Q&A, so feel free to type your questions in the chat or Q&A feature located at the bottom of your screen. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass things over to Molly.
Great. Thanks, Kelsey. Welcome everybody. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy end of the year schedule to join us to chat about our dental palpation simulator. So today the agenda is at the end, actually, we'll see a live demo of the dental palpation simulator. We'll take some time to explore the accompanying lessons that are part of the curriculum, activities that are included, and assessments. And of course, we always love a good free resource. So, dental palpation simulator, this is what we're going to be talking about today. So, an overview of what the product actually is. It is a simulator, and I'll show you that. You've seen some pictures of it probably. We'll show you in action how that works in a few moments here. You get 4 sets of 21 scenario cards each. You know, here at Realityworks, we really love scenario-based learning. So anytime we can include scenario cards into a curriculum, we jump on that opportunity. So 4 sets of 21 scenario cards, a downloadable curriculum, 6 dental abnormality inserts with a case. So here's a list of the abnormalities, but we'll get into that into more detail in a few moments. A quick start guide, which is basically your one-stop shop for how to use the product, and a 1-year limited warranty. The whole idea behind this product is to give your students safe hands-on learning practices while they understand how to conduct an intraoral and extraoral head and neck examination as they would as a dental hygienist or dental assistant. The dental palpation simulator has unique and robust features and functionality, so let's talk through them. First is the actual look and feel of the simulator. The skin is flexible and pliable, so you'll get a realistic stretching of the lips and cheeks when conducting your assessments. The tongue can be manipulated and moved around inside the mouth, and the jaw opens and closes through the use of a foot pedal and can be kept open with a locking mechanism on the back of the simulator's head. On the back of the head, there's also controls for turning on and off both TMJ and crepitus for both the left and the right side of the jaw. Both of these conditions, when enabled on the simulator, can be both heard and felt. And the right and left sides of the jaw are controlled separately. So the patient can have a positive finding on one or both sides of the jaw. We'll show you these features during the demo part of our webinar. The Dental Palpation Simulator comes with 7 permanent abnormalities and 6 more abnormalities that are removable. We'll show the list of what those abnormalities actually are on the next slides coming up. The simulator comes with a strap system that is both easy to use and secure, so you can attach the simulator to virtually any chair, dental or otherwise. So positioning of the patient will be very realistic for your students. There's a 3-lesson curriculum that's downloadable, and we'll talk through some of those highlights in just a moment. So here's our list of permanent abnormalities. The diagram that is here shows you where on the simulator that particular abnormality can be found. This is so amazing because so many of these things students never get the chance to see and feel on real patients while they're still in school. This brings a level of realism, and the light bulbs just go off when they can feel and see things instead of reading about them in a textbook. It's so amazing. This visual, by the way, is clipped right from the quick start guide that you get with the product. So you will have a handy, reliable resource to remind you of where all those abnormalities are when you're actually using the simulator. So here is the list of the removable abnormalities. They can be attached in appropriate places on the simulator using really strong magnets. It's pretty cool. You can kind of feel them lock into place when you put them in the mouth or in underneath using the slits on the side of the simulator, which I'll show you as well. Oops, excuse me. This is getting super touchy. Okay, so let's take a moment to talk about the curriculum that comes with the simulator. As I mentioned, there are 3 lessons, and the titles of those lessons are the new dental patient, the extraoral examination, and the intraoral examination. We estimate it to be about 3 to 4 teaching hours of time to use in your classroom. And we rely on subject matter experts in the creation of these curricula. So the curriculum, they're all formatted the same way, no matter what product you use from Realityworks. Each lesson has 3 parts: focus, learn, and review. So once you familiarize yourself with how we lay things out in the curriculum, it's so easy to navigate from one product to the next. So those 3 different parts: focus, learn, and review. So we'll show an example from the curriculum that's included with the Dental Palpation Simulator to give you an indication of how those 3 parts are laid out. So we're going to use lesson 2, the extraoral examination, as our example during this webinar. So the first part of that lesson is the focus section. So the focus section is intended to do just that: get the student to focus and to start concentrating on the topic that will be taught that day. Some lessons have pre-assessment evaluations in the focus section. Some have activities like crossword puzzles, and some have components like our scenario cards. Here's an example of one of the 21 scenario cards included with this product. The front side of the scenario card gives the student a situation that could commonly occur once they are in professional practice. The flip side of the card gives some guiding questions to help students work through their thinking about those situations, so they don't feel blindsided when they happen in real life. But you, as the instructor, have a lot of options for how you might want to use these cards. You can use them as a whole class icebreaker and discussion. You could use them in small groups or think, pair, share. You could post them on your LMS and have them complete a writing exercise. So the scenario cards themselves are flexible and robust. And in this instance, they're used in the focus section of this lesson. So the next section after focus is learn. This is where you might choose to use the included PowerPoint presentation slides to assist in presenting the lesson content for your students. Here's an example of just one of the slides found in this particular presentation. So you can see how it's providing that didactic information, the knowledge base that the students need to be able to perform the skill. And then the last part of the lesson is the review section. Often this comes in the form of a written post-test to gauge how well your students absorb the material. Here is an example of a post-test that was created by our subject matter expert for this particular lesson. All right, we love our free resources, so let's get to those and talk about a few things that we have available for you. First, the first link that you'll find there are posters. Everybody loves a great infographic to decorate their classroom with. We have one that is specific to the dental industry, which is super fun. And then we have a poster that is a little broader about healthcare careers in general. So those are kind of fun things to have up in your classroom. We also have some free career exploration lessons, and there are 20 of them total. And you can see the different topics that are included in these career exploration lessons. So those are located at the second hyperlink. And again, you'll get all this information when you get your follow-up email after within the next 24 hours after the webinar. So you'll be able to click on those and get your free resources very easily. A few more dental assistant resources that I thought were worth passing along to you. The first link has 8 free videos on a variety of dental assisting topics, from career information to PPE. This is from the University of Florida College of Dentistry. The second link is to a packet of information and activities on a variety of dental careers. The third is a link to a 52-page training curriculum. And just to note, on page 40 starts a section on interview questions, followed by tips for being successful. So that's kind of an exciting thing to help our students get ready to be in an interview situation. There are dozens of dental assistant career exploration videos. And the fourth link is just one example. It's an 8-minute video that you could use to supplement a particular lesson as you teach this content to your students. Okay, so now we're going to get to the demo portion of our presentation. So I am going to stop sharing. And I'm going to turn on our camera so that we can do a little bit of a demo. Hi, everybody. So here is our simulator, Dental Palpation Simulator. Here is the mentioned foot pedal that opens and closes the mouth. We have scenario cards. And then we have the removable inserts that come in a case, which is pretty cool. They're all made of silicone, so there's no latex issue in this, and you can tell they look really realistic, and some of them are actually kind of gnarly. So it's kind of fun. You get the gross factor from the students, which gets them engaged and interested. Okay, so I'm going to move this foot pedal to the ground so that I can actually use it. So the first thing I want to show you is kind of on the back side of the simulator. So we talked about being able to keep the mouth open by using the lever in the center of the head. And that's this lever right here. So when I press down on the foot pedal, I can pull that lever out and it will hold the simulator's mouth open. These 2 knobs are for the corresponding sides of the jaw. And we can turn them one direction to show crepitus and one the other direction to show TMJ. So I'll demonstrate those. So I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear them over the webinar, but hopefully you will be able to. So I wanted to show you the back side. As we're also turning around, I want to show you that there are slits right here in the skin on either side, right behind the ears of the simulator. And that is for a couple of the different removable abnormalities that can be placed using access right there to get in. Okay, so we can step on the pedal now and you can show that the mouth opens. You just, even with the not great camera on our webinar, you can tell that there are abnormalities in there, and those are our permanent abnormalities. I can move the tongue around. You can see how lifelike the teeth look. It's pretty great. Now, I have this strapped to a normal office chair, obviously. The strap system is pretty easy to use. It's a set of 3 straps with the ability to tighten or loosen based on whatever kind of chair you're using. But if you do have a dental chair, it's great because then you can even get that simulator more into a natural position that your students would be seeing as they actually take care of patients. So we can open and shut. Okay, so if I engage one of the abnormalities on the jaw, you can hear that crepitus, right? It's really loud and you can feel it too. So I've got it engaged on the right side of the jaw right now. You can have both sides with crepitus. You can have one side with crepitus and the other side healthy. Mix and match between TMJ. So you have a lot of options here. So now I'll engage the TMJ on the right side of the jaw. And you can hear that clicking and grinding you can feel. So you can see how this would be a really effective, powerful, like wow sort of moment for your students. They really get to see and feel things that they wouldn't otherwise get to feel or see. So I'm going to take this particular insert. This is an enlarged lymph node. So I'm going to come back here and I'm going to slide it into that slit. And I kind of lost my hold of it, so I'm sorry. Okay, so now it's popped into place with that magnet that's on the inside. So if your students aren't aware that that's going to be there and they're doing their examination, they're going to feel that. It is rock hard. They're going to feel that right away and know that something isn't right, especially when they're doing that comparison from right to left. So that's an example of how those inserts work. The other ones work exactly the same way with that magnet in there, and you just slide it in. And remember that quick start guide gives you the picture of exactly where all of those inserts can be placed inside the mouth. Once you get used to it, you just try it out once or twice and you'll know exactly where you need to go to get that magnet to connect, and it holds it in there nice and tightly. So that is our demonstration of our dental palpation simulator. I'm going to go back to sharing my screen now. All right, so now we're going to move on to see if anybody has any questions. So right now I'm going to turn things back to Kelsey, our moderator, to see if any questions have come in from our audience.
Perfect. Thank you, Molly. While we wait for some of those questions to roll in, if you are interested in speaking with an account manager, on the next page, there is a QR code that you can scan, and we will match you with your local account rep. They can help you answer any questions you might have, or just refreshing or starting your own dental program. If you are interested in that, highly encourage you to scan that, and we are able to help you with that. One question while we are talking about this, Molly. So what makes this simulator unique for dental students?
Well, yeah. So, like, what typically happens in a classroom is students will practice going through the motions of an intraoral and an extraoral examination on one another. But what they're doing is really assessing another healthy patient. And so the difference with this simulator is we're able to add in those abnormalities that they typically won't find on their own classmate colleagues. So they will get to see things and feel things that they would never get an opportunity to until at the very earliest when they're out in practice. But then they might even go, wow, I know that's not normal, but I don't know what it is, and I need help figuring this out. This gives them the exposure to a lot of those abnormalities that they're going to see eventually, but it gives them that hands-on opportunity to learn about those things while they're still in school.
Perfect. And another question, would this pair well with any of the other dental products that Realityworks offers?
Absolutely. We have a lot of very basic foundational health science products that are great in terms of like ethical and legal considerations and healthcare interpersonal skills that would be totally applicable for dental students as well. But in terms of really specifically talking about dental, we one of the products that I really love is our dental anatomy model set. It comes with flashcards and it's got all of these different models, both pediatric and adult. And it's a weird thing to say, but they are the most beautiful models I've ever seen. They're so well made and they're just gorgeous to look at. So I love that one. And then we also have the dental safety training kit. And that one talks a lot about personal protective equipment and radiation exposure and so on and so forth. So those products naturally go together if you are starting a dental program from the ground up. They would all be really helpful.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, at this time, I don't see any other questions.
Great. Well, I'll just say thank you again to everybody for taking time out at this super busy time of year. And please reach out if you have questions about any of these amazing training tools.